Kathleen, come on.
I'm really short. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm really short.
Yep. There we go.
All right. I was on the 49 coming from City College on my way back to the Mission, where I had rented a house on the one block of contested gang territory, accidentally. And there was a man in the back of the bus who said, "Back door." And the driver didn't hear him, and so he missed his stop. And so the man went to the front of the bus, and he looked at the driver, and he said, "You missed my stop." And so he pulled a gun on him, which is a completely rational reaction to missing your stop. And at that point, I looked up, and I realized that this probably was going to be the second time that I was held hostage on the 49 bus. Yeah. So then this guy behind me kind of slides to the right, and I kind of look back, and he really reminds me of Ducky from like Pretty in Pink. And he's like, "What do you think's going to happen next?" And I'm like, "Well, see those three guys in the front who are having a lively conversation? One of them has a blue bandana. And one of them's clearly got a gun, and I think they all have guns. And actually, the blue bandana, like, so when you go right out of my house, those are the blue guys. And actually, they're pretty cool. They have, like, really good parties and make good food, and they're really nice guys. They throw me out of the ways of bullets and stuff, so I think they're all going to stand up. Yep, they're all standing up with guns, pointing it at the first guy. Just, geometry-wise, this means that there's nowhere on the bus right now that we can't get shot. So, emergency exits? Yeah, so we all get on the chairs, and we're kicking out every emergency exit. And these things are not human-shaped anyway, am I right? You're like, okay, if anything happens on this bus, my coffee's making it to safety. On top of the shape of them, they don't open. They open like a crack. Okay, I'm gonna die. So we're like, what do we do next? And I start reading my book again because this girl over here is merely inconvenienced. She's on her cell phone, and she's like, "I don't know when I'm going to get there." And she leans forward, and she says, "I don't know, there's some kind of gun thing happening." There's always that person, no matter what's happening on the bus. "I don't know. I don't care. Someone's getting stabbed." And in the middle of the back seat is this guy with a big glumpy dog who's like making a reservoir of drool in the middle. And it's at this point that he leans over to the dog and he like whispers something in his ear and lets go of his chain. And then glumpy dog turns into Cujo and charges up the front and jumps on the first guy with the gun. And that guy was totally oblivious to like three guns being pointed at him, but he's totally afraid of this dog. And so the three guys pointing the gun at the first guy, they yell at the driver, and they're like, "Open the door!" Now, meanwhile, this driver's having a complete meltdown on that red phone, and he's like, "You don't care about us!" And he just like looks around and he's like, "This is the second time today that I've had guns pulled on me." But he opens the door and these three guys throw that guy off the bus and they're like, "Drive!" And I swear he's not even sitting when he just hits the gas. And like, we do not go through a green light on Cesar Chavez. And we get like 2 blocks and he just slams on the brakes and shuts off the power, and then he lets out this primal scream. And we're like, this guy's lost it. We're just all silent, except this one, of course. And she marches her butt up the front and she says, "When are we gonna get you off the bus?" And he says, oh, when are we going to get off the bus? Like an inch from his face. When you want to get off the bus? No one's ever getting off the bus. I kind of look back at Ducky and I'm like, I didn't want to hear that, did you? And he's like, nope, last thing I wanted to hear. Okay. At this point, I'm like, okay, now the guns are away, and now we're going to get driven into the bay. Okay, awesome. And now a bunch of police and muni cars are surrounding us, and they're doing this horizontal parking in front of the bus so we can't die, hopefully. And they pull down the electricity, and they bring out the bullhorn, and they are like, please let the hostages go. There it is again, hostages. And we'll give you 2 weeks of vacation. Right? This is what my life is worth. Right? So this is when I realized I need to move, not because of all the bullets at me, not because of the hostages, but because when I have guns pointed at me, I read a book. Thank you.